Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to do a video all about how to stay motivated during lockdown. Now I have been really struggling to stay motivated. It's just not something I can do. I'm very up in the air about what's happening with my course anyway, but I found some tips that have worked really well. I have taken some of these tips from other YouTube videos I've watched. The main person who I've taken inspiration from is Eve Bennett. She did a whole video about her morning routine, and I've taken some of the tips that she mentioned in her video and I've incorporated it into my own day, and it has worked really well. So if you want to find out what I'm doing to stay motivated and keep up with my college work during lockdown, then make sure you keep on watching. The easiest thing that I've found that gets me into a good routine and it makes it so much easier for me to work is to get myself into a good routine that I follow every day of the week. I don't keep this up at weekends, I just sort of chill out on the weekends, I don't worry about work, but Monday to Friday I do try and get myself into a routine, wake up at the same time, do the same things in the morning and go to bed at a reasonable time, just so I feel like a bit of normality, because this is what I was doing when I was at college. Do make sure though that you are reasonable with this sort of timetable that you set yourself. Make sure you give yourself plenty of breaks so that you can just relax and switch off. Try and move yourself away from your workspace. So I have a desk and I will work from 10 till 12, mainly doing college work. And then at 12 I will step away for about 45 minutes. I will completely leave my room. Unfortunately my desk is in my room, so I feel like I'm constantly just in my bedroom. It's not fun. But for that 45 minutes I will completely remove myself from my room. I will go downstairs, either make some lunch or sit in the garden if the weather's nice, which it has been so beautiful recently. Just it's so important to get yourself out of your work environment and switch off for a little bit. This also helps when I come back. I feel really refreshed. I feel like I've got a new set of eyes on my work. I can see bits that need improving. That's always so important when you're an artist, is going back and improving. Yeah, that is the main thing I do, is get myself into a routine, but also give myself plenty of breaks through the day so that I don't become overwhelmed and start to feel like my head is frying. Okay, so the next thing I do is write myself a to-do list every day. Like I said, this is one of the tips that I took from Eve Bennett's video. It's so helpful, and I find that having set things that I need to do every day really gets me out of bed. It gives me something to work towards every day. I find myself being a lot more productive. Even when I'm not feeling too great, it's nice to just sometimes distract myself and get some work done, so that's really helpful. A lot of my work is online as well. I'm pretty sure most people will now be doing their work online, whether that's school, college, university. So my teachers specifically give us a weekly brief. They're not right now because it's the Easter holidays, but when we go back we get a weekly brief which breaks down all the tasks that we need to do and when they need to be done by. So on a Monday I will go through that list and write down the hardest things which I need to get done first because I'm less likely to want to do them, and the easiest things I leave to near the end of the week, just to give myself a little bit of a come down. I typically find myself trying to procrastinate out of difficult tasks that I don't find too fun, so annotating for example. So I will do them at the start of the week and work my way through it that way. This works quite well for me. It might be that you want to do just a little bit each day. It doesn't really matter what the task is, just try and work it to you. But do try and split up your work if you can. Obviously every course, every school, every college is going to do their online work in a different way, but if you do have a bit more freedom of when you can hand in, then I would suggest making a list and working through it hardest to easiest. Aside from the tasks my tutors set, I also set myself personal goals of what I want to be doing in my sketchbook. When this situation first began, I was so at a loss of what to do. I felt like my motivation went from up here to just straight at the floor. It was non-existent. I had no idea what I wanted to do. I had no idea how to progress, especially being an art student. I did not have access to things like studio space. I didn't have as much equipment to work with. So I found it really hard to get myself into a work headspace. Even though my tutors were giving me the work, I couldn't function in a way. It was like I'd gone on shutdown. So for the first, I'd say 2 weeks of schools being shut, I did no work. And that is okay. You do have to allow yourself that this is a really big situation. You can't be expected to constantly be smashing out work. Now, since I have developed this to-do list slash timetable system for myself, I found it a lot easier to allot times and tasks for sketchbook work, for things that I feel like I need to do, whether that is taking photos or editing photos. I found it so much easier now that I know I have a set schedule of when things need to be done by, and I know that I have got free time in a way, so where I just allow myself to read a book or play Sims or go for a walk. I'm not sat at my desk, which really does help. This is going to be the most obvious tip of how to stay motivated and get on with your work during lockdown, but just put your phone in the bin, quite frankly. Just get rid of it, turn it off, get it out of eyesight. It is the most distracting thing around. My screen time used to be, I'd say, 6 to 7 hours a day, which is not good, not healthy at all. I spent way too much time mindlessly scrolling. On days that I wasn't at college, I spent half the day going through Instagram and talking to my friends rather than actually getting the work done that I needed. So I have just recently started switching off. I will check it in the morning and then I will turn it off, and I will turn it back on, you know, during my 45-minute lunch break, and then I will turn it on again when I've finished for the day. And this has massively helped. It's not only helped me stay motivated because I find I am getting a lot more work done, but my mental health just seems to be a little bit better. Obviously the current situation doesn't help with mental health at all, but I find that not constantly comparing myself to models, I find myself not worrying as much about the really little things. So I would definitely say just get your phone out of sight. The same with your iPad. If you've got Instagram on your iPad or on your laptop, just log out of all your accounts and don't even check it, because it's not worth it. You're not going to find anything of substance, and you'll find that you get through your to-do list so much quicker, and you'll end up having more free time anyway, which you can spend doing more worthwhile things like learning a new skill or just having you time at the end of the day. That is the most important thing. Another thing that I find really helps me is to create a playlist of really upbeat motivational songs. I add music that really motivates me. It doesn't tend to be songs by pop stars or artists. It tends to be more sort of instrumental upbeat music, because then I can't get distracted by the lyrics and sing along and, you know, pretend I'm Beyonce. But a playlist just really helps. It helps block out the rest of the world. I tend to get in my own head and just blast out my work. I find myself feeling a lot more calmer. So I would definitely say get yourself a good long playlist. And finally, I think I have mentioned this point a fair few times, but I'm gonna just reiterate it, is do not be mad at yourself if you have a day where you just can't do anything. I call these nothing days because I just watch YouTube or Netflix or listen to music. I do absolutely nothing. For example, yesterday was a massive nothing day for me. I got nothing productive done, and at first I was a bit like, oh, I've wasted a day, but I haven't at all. It's so important to just look after yourself, and if you need a nothing day, that is fine. Motivation, college work, school work, it will wait at the end of the day. But that is everything I've got for you today. That is all the tips and everything I am doing to stay motivated. I hope some of these might help you, they might not. If you do have any of your own tips which you think I have missed, that's really helpful, make sure you leave them in the comments below. Give this video a thumbs up if you find it helpful, and subscribe. Turn on the little bell icon so you don't miss any of my future videos, and I will hopefully see you in the next one. Bye!